Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to reply to the video that was posted on August 22nd, 2015. And it's called 24 Questions Black People Have for White People. Now, I really don't see the need for these videos because there's other videos on BuzzFeed like 24 Questions White People Have for White People. I find no need for these videos. Like, if you want to know about someone, instead of, addressing people by their skin color, how about you address them by their names, or maybe label them, 24 questions YouTubers have for other YouTubers, something like that. But I think going by skin color is dividing people instead of bringing people together. But anyway, let's see what this video is all about.
Why do you always make such horrible decisions in horror movies? It's not cool to split up.
Why do you freak out?
Well, when it comes to horror films, yeah, I can agree with you. White people are stupid in horror films. I'm a film person. I love film. Criticizing film is my hobby. However, though, look, there's cast in films all the time that I see, a multiracial cast of people black and white alike. And I see black characters make just as dumb decisions as the white characters. If they made white people and black people smart in horror films, there would be no point to the movie then. I think the key is to keep the characters dumb and stupid. So, there's a horror film, so there's some type of false suspense in horror films today. They don't make horror films like they used to.
When black people are cast to play white fictional characters.
What's the big deal?
Wait, it's like, did you hear this one?
Split up.
Why do you freak out when black people are cast to play white fictional characters?
What's the big...
I don't freak out when black people are cast to play white fiction. Look, that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all. Look, when it comes to film, I don't care who's cast in what film. I don't care about the skin color of the person. I don't care about the gender of the person. You know why? Because it's a movie. If it's a good movie, it's going to be around for quite a while. And if it's a bad movie, well, it's going to disappear within a matter of weeks or months. So, quite honestly, I don't care if a black man or black woman is casted in normally what a white person would be cast in a film. I really don't care. I'll watch any film with any cast, and I don't care about the casting nor the gender of the cast of the film. If people got their panties in a bunch over the cast of a movie, they have a goddamn sad life.
The deal if Idris Elba plays James Bond. I would go see it twice. Why?
Look, I don't care if he's casted to play James Bond. I really don't care. You know why? It's James Bond. I love James Bond films. They're one of my favorite films. Because guess what? They're one of those films that have a story and action to them, and you could both enjoy a story and an action film together. And that's the only film saga, in my opinion, that actually has the ability to do that. While other films tend to focus more on the story, and then they lack the action, or they're full of action, they lack a story. They're the only films really that can combine storytelling and action-packed scenes and combine them together and create a good film. Even though I did not like Skyfall, worst James Bond film I've ever seen.
Is a big butt and big lips considered attractive on a white woman, but they're unattractive on a black woman?
Quite honestly, look, everybody has their preferences and all that. Look, I don't care if I date a woman or a guy that has a big ass and big lips. I don't care. However, though, guess what? Other people may not find asses and lips attractive. They might find the breast attractive. They might find the average the 16-inch waist attractive. They might find a flat stomach attractive. It's all goes based on the guy or gal who's looking for someone to hook up with or to date. It's preference. People have their preferences.
You don't really think Miley is the one who created twerking? Really?
Why am I?
First of all, twerking. Look, when it comes to twerking, personally, I don't understand it. I don't get why it exists. I really don't understand why it's a thing. But guess what? No one really invented it. It's not like when you invent a dance move, you have to get a patent for it. Dancing is universal. Dancing is like music. It's universal. It's not like only Americans can sing Frank Sinatra music, but Asian people have to pay to sing Frank Sinatra karaoke music. It doesn't work that way. Same thing with dancing. Look, people twerk. I understand that. I don't get it, but people like doing it. To each its own.
Am I supposed to teach you how to twerk? I don't know how to twerk.
Why is it that white people
Okay, me neither. I think we're even at that.
always act as though they have discovered a new trend when people of color have been doing it for virtually years?
Why is it when
Look, I understand where that guy's question's coming from. However, though, there's a thing called cultural appropriation, and it's not a bad thing, really. That's how cultures and people get along. That's how the United States formed into what it is today. Look, I'm guessing you eat spaghetti, sir. I'm not talking about the still frame. That's on pause now. I'm talking about the other guy who asked the question. Sir, look, you probably eat spaghetti. Guess who started that tradition in America? Italians. Are Italians offended? You eat spaghetti? No, we're not offended by that. Well, I'm not full Italian, but I do have Italian in me, so I'm somewhat Italian. But we're not offended by that. We're glad that you enjoy eating spaghetti. We're glad you enjoy eating pizza. That is if you eat pizza, because now some people are lactose intolerant. They can't eat mozzarella on pizza and all that. But however, though, guess what? No, Italians aren't mad that you're eating spaghetti. Chinese people aren't mad you're eating Chinese food. It's called cultural appropriation. And look, did white culture get into the R&B scene in the 1950s? Far almost 30 years later after R&B was invented? Yeah. But times are different now. People are, Googling shit, YouTubing shit. And they're getting into these new trends and all that. These new trends that are going to become fashion statements or iconic things in American pop culture. People have the internet to catch on early.
when a black woman wears her hair natural, it's seen as inappropriate. But when a white woman does, it's praised.
This is the
When it comes to hair, to be honest, I don't have to worry about it because I shaved my head completely bald. I'm losing my hair. But But when it comes to women wearing their hair, look, if you want if you want to fix your hair to where it looks like a you know, bedhead type of hairstyle, go ahead. It's your hair. I don't care. Once again, it's your hair. I do not care what you do with your hair. Same thing with white women. I don't care what they do with their hair. As long as it's, you know, their hair doesn't smell bad, that's a deal breaker, okay? That's a deal breaker. Look, as long as the hair is, you know, shampoo, conditioned, smells good, doesn't smell like it hasn't been washed in 5 months, I'm fine with women wearing their hairstyles the way they want to.
The hair that I was born with, so you wearing it as a trend is not cute. Like,
well, hold on a sec. You think black people are the only people born with dark hair? I could think of white artists that are predominantly big and well known that were born with dark hair. John Travolta from Grease, he was born with dark hair. Billy Joel, even though he lost his hair, he was born with dark hair. That same thing with Travolta, but Travolta wears wigs. Joel doesn't. But yeah, John Travolta was born with dark hair. Does that make him a racist for being born with dark hair? Elvis Presley dyed his hair dark because he didn't like having dirty blonde hair. Because to Elvis Presley, it looked like someone pissed in his hair, and I can understand. He dyed his hair black, and it stayed black his entire life. Does that make him a racist? Other people, Vin Diesel had dark hair for a while until it changed into a light brown. Does that make him a racist? No, it's genetics. It's purely genetics. You can't determine what what hair someone's going to be born with.
Can you appropriate my student loans? Can you take that off my hands? Why is that?
Look, I want to help people get rid of goddamn student loans as well, but guess what? Number one, yes, as the Amazing Atheist did point out in his response video, we tried to get Bernie Sanders a Democratic nominee, but it didn't happen because, of course, the Democratic National Convention, a lot of people like me who are left libertarians, classical liberals, progressive libertarians now, who we were Democrats, but now we're not. Us Burners have left the Democratic Party because they rigged the game on Bernie Sanders. But he would have done that. He would have worked with Republicans and Democrats to get rid of student loan debt. It's student debt in general. So, guess what? Bernie Sanders is the nominee, so I guess everybody has to deal with student debt.
A white crime is seen as an isolated incident, but black crime is a representation of my entire community. When we see
first of all, crime in general, you and I know that's not tolerated. And to be honest, look, when a white person kills another white person, or a white person kills a black person, or anybody of another race or minority or ethnicity, it makes the white community look bad just as much as a black person killing another black person, or a black person killing a white person, or a black person killing another person of another ethnicity. It makes the black community look bad. When you have people within races who are going after their own race and other people of other races and ethnicities, and they're killing them over stupid shit, it makes all racial communities look bad. It's not just the black community that looks bad when a black person commits a crime. It looks bad when a white person commits a crime, and the white community looks bad. All races look bad when you have criminals in each race who commit atrocities and they get arrested for it, and you hear about the atrocities and you think and you hope that other people within that race don't think like that, or don't share those same values that the same person got arrested for. Look, crime in America can really affect someone on an emotional level. And look, you have the parents of Nicole Brown, the girl that O.J. Simpson was taken to trial for killing. And guess what? The father is actually very racist. He doesn't like black people. He doesn't, because he thinks every single black guy he encounters is like OJ. His words, not mine. And guess what? He had his daughter that was brutally murdered by O.J. Simpson. Brutally murdered by O.J. Simpson. And I can understand his frustration, but I can't understand his bigotry. That's the key. I don't understand his bigotry, but I understand his frustration.
See a story on TV about a white serial killer, I don't automatically assume that all white people must be serial killers too.
Well, like I think my last answer pretty much covered that one. Look, with serial killers, that's a small number of people that are actually serial killers. But like I said, when it comes to crime in general, America does a good job at boiling certain groups of people into one clump, and I can agree with that. However, though, look, when you see crime happening in America like wildfire, like it's been happening lately, people get scared. People get scared. People don't know how to respond to situations, and that's human fear. A lot of people act on pure emotion, and people can't help that. And I don't assume every black person's a criminal. I don't. You know why? Because I don't think like that. I don't think like that. And I know that you have people within the black community that want to stop black on black crime, but their voices aren't heard. That's the sad truth. Their voices are not heard.
Why does talking about race make you feel so uncomfortable?
Is it because you think that you'll be perceived as racist?
No. Talking about race doesn't make me uncomfortable. In fact, as a left libertarian, I'm against bigotry. I'm against sexism. So I'm going to talk against things that divide us racially. Look, when it comes to affirmative action, I'm against it. I'm against it. There's some good things about it, but other than that, it's very bigoted. It's very bigoted, and there's evidence for it. Instead of accepting a black student to a university based on his or her skills, why they got accepted there, they got accepted there to fill a quota of that university. It's bigoted. You should accept people to your college campuses regardless of skin color without needing them to fill a quota. So I'm against affirmative action because it's very bigoted and sexist. And I'm against racism. So I will talk about race in America because I'm not uncomfortable talking about it. And the people who are uncomfortable talking about race in America are truly racist because they want to say bigoted shit, but they know that when they say the bigoted shit, they'll get called out and they'll say, "Don't call me a racist, I'm not a bigot." We all know they're a bigot because they're not talking about it.
If you talk about race?
You don't really believe that racism is over because we have a black president, do you?
Why is it so?
Actually, no, I don't. I know racism is out there, but I also know that racism isn't as bad as it was during the time of slavery or segregation. Look, here's my problem when I see a lot of people, black and white alike, talking about this on YouTube. Oh, things haven't changed since Martin Luther King Jr. Yes, things have. Because the last time I checked, I go to restaurants and there's people of all races and ethnicities eating together. And I see people of all races and ethnicities drinking at the bars together, at the nightclubs together. I see people of all races and ethnicities at the library together. A lot of shit has changed since Martin Luther King Jr., okay? And look, racism is not over. Yes, there is bigotry out there. Donald Trump is an example of a bigot. He's a perfect example of a bigot. And his followers are even bigger examples of bigots. And racism is not dead, it's alive. However, though, combating racism is not solved by using racism.
Easy for you to notice when there are no white people around, but you hardly ever notice when there are no black people around.
Hold on a sec. I hear that question again.
Easy for you to notice when there are no white people around, but you hardly ever notice when there are no black people around.
What?
That's not true. That's not true at all. Not true at all. Look. Well, when I look around across this country and I see people that think that they've been beaten down by society for such a long time that they think that people don't care about them anymore, it truly breaks my heart. It does. The reason why it breaks my heart is because, look, there are bigots out there. Like I said, racism is not dead, but there are bigots out there who want to make you feel small. Don't let their words get to you, even though that's what they want. That's their goal, is for their words to get to you. Don't let their words hurt you. Stand back, stand against them. Call them out, yell at them. Go after them. Look, when I go places, look, I look around, and yes, there are people black and white alike. And when I look around and people leave one by one, I recognize that people, regardless of skin color, are leaving the facility or whatever place I'm at. I recognize when people are at places or not. I recognize when people are here or not. The reason why I do that is because I'm not a bigot. I'm not a sexist. I'm not a deplorable human being. I see everybody as the same, regardless of skin color or gender.
Why is your goal to be colorblind?
The reason why my goal is to be colorblind is because, number one, like I said, I see people as people. Look, I'm responding to all of you, and I'm not referring to each of your questions as, oh, a black person's asking white people this. No, I'm not doing that. I'm responding to you as an individual, as a person. I'm giving you an answer to your question. That's why I think colorblind is actually good, because when you don't see skin color, guess what? Maybe bigotry can die down a little.
So many different types of people in the world, yet you can't see color?
Why do you want to say the N-word so badly?
Actually, I don't. I don't want to say this particular word because it makes me uncomfortable to say it. That's just me. Look, even though I'm not a social justice warrior, I know that there are certain words that people don't like, and I fully understand that. That's why I won't say them. But me as an individual, I won't say the N-word, but there are some people who will. And maybe those are racist, but maybe they're people who are quoting a bigot to talk about how bad bigotry is for this country and for society. Maybe they're telling it in a joke to show how silly bigotry is, to show how stupid it is. Don Rickles uses the N-word in his stand-up routine all the time, but he doesn't do it because he hates black people. No, that's completely opposite. He's actually against racism, so he uses bigotry to show how stupid bigotry is. But even Don Rickles knows that you can't use racism to combat racism in general. In comedy, it's okay to show how stupid bigotry is to those who are bigots. But guess what? He doesn't use these words when he's on a talk show. No, because he knows these words hurt people.
If I don't use it, what makes you think you can?
Why do you always want to touch our hair?
Who told?
I don't like to touch anybody's hair. I don't, because I just don't. There are people who, are hairstylists and barbers and all that, and they touch people's hair all the time. And I can't do that because it freaks me out, because I would feel the oils of people's hair, the gels and all that, and ill. No, I can't touch anybody's hair. Well, no.
I told you it was okay to touch people without their permission.
Why do you feel like having one black friend makes you a cultural expert or not a racist?
Is your only black friend comfortable with being the reason why you can't be racist?
Find out.
First of all, I do have black friends, and the reason why I do have black friends is because they're people. They're people. And they're my best friends. I have a friend, he's like a brother to me. I've known him since 2nd grade. He's like a brother to me. Him and I haven't spoken in a while because, he graduated, he's finding a job, he's trying to find a job in his major and all that. Him and I aren't probably going to speak frequently like we did when we were in high school, but he's like a brother to me. So if anything happens to him, he tells me, and I give him advice if he asks for it, and I take a bullet for him because he's like a brother to me. And look, when you have bigots who only have white friends, and look, there's racists in all races and all that. Look, you have people who are bigoted in the black community, just as you have people who are bigoted in the Spanish community, the Latino community, the Italian community, the Irish community, the Polish community, and they like to have friends within their race or within their ethnicity because they're uncomfortable around other people who don't look like them. Me, on the other hand, I have friends of all shape, size, skin color, and ethnicity, because I'm not a horrible person. I'm not a bigot. I'm not a sexist.
Logic, then I'm not racist. I have a ton of white friends.
Why do you feel comfortable cursing at your parents?
Why do you kiss?
I don't really curse on my parents. I don't. I curse on video camera every now and then. But in general, no, I don't curse on my parents.
Your dog's on the mouth.
How come you can't
Some people do that. I don't. I don't.
pronounce black names like Kubanjane, but can say names like Schwarzenegger, Galifianakis, and LaBeouf just fine?
The reason why is because, number one, I knew a Daquan. However, though, that friendship split up because he was saying he was saying stuff about my little sister that got me really mad. And so him and I aren't friends anymore, but I knew a Daquan. But other than that, when you say Schwarzenegger, Galifianakis, LaBeouf, and all that, they're names that everybody knows. And they're public figures, are world renowned. However, though, you know, that those other names that you bring up, look, for some people, for some white people, even non-bigoted white people, some of these names are hard to pronounce because a lot of white people are not used to these random spelling of names. I know this sounds stereotypical of the white community, but the white community normally names their kids like plain Dick and Jane names because it's easy for white people to pronounce. It's stereotypical of the white community. But it's true. And to understand what I mean, look, I have family members in my own family that assume that Black people create made up names for their children, and I know that's not the case. However, though, they grew up in a different time period when, you know, their parents and their grandparents were saying that those same exact things, because once again, society was completely different from what it is today. And yeah, for a lot of white people, especially a lot of white older people, a lot of Black names are hard to pronounce.
Why do you feel like all lions' lives matter, but Black lives don't?
What?
First of all, an animal compared to a human being is a different story.
Is a lion's life in Africa more important than the lives of Black people here in America? What did Simba ever do for you?
I get it.
Look, that what happened to that lion was that dentist went into lured that protective animal out of its Africa National Wildlife Zoo protection field and shot it. And people in America and around the globe were appalled by that because big game hunting is actually illegal now. At one time, it wasn't illegal, it was a legal sport. Theodore Roosevelt was a big game hunter, but he stopped after a while because he knew that if he kept hunting these big animals, these big, beautiful animals, that he and other people would cause the destruction of the animal kingdom. So he stopped doing big game hunting. But look, big game hunting is wrong. And look, and yes, Black lives do matter in America just as much as Asian lives matter in America, just as much as white lives matter in America. All lives matter in America. However, though, here's the only flaw with that wording of that question. Look, the majority of the people are appalled at police brutality. The white community, the Black community, all communities in America are appalled by police brutality. What? People are also appalled that you have branches of Black Lives Matter that are going after innocent police officers that had nothing to do with the shootings of these innocent unarmed Black men. They could have been innocent, I don't know. Here's the point. We don't know what happened prior to these shootings. Maybe they were innocent. Maybe they were, you know, caught stealing something. I don't know. Because we don't know what happened prior to these shootings. But the case is these unarmed Black men, people are appalled by police brutality, but it's not acceptable when you have branches of Black Lives Matter that are going after policemen, black and white alike, just because they wear a blue uniform. People are also appalled by police being killed as well, because they have family, they have friends, they have children as well.
Lion King was an awesome movie, but so was Selma, and so was Malcolm X.
I quite enjoy Malcolm X. It's one of my favorite Denzel Washington films, and I haven't seen Selma yet, but I want to. But look, first of all, you're comparing a Disney animated film to a film based on a predominant civil rights leader, especially one who complimented Martin Luther King Jr. And here's the difference. Malcolm X was live action. The Lion King was animated. And Selma was a live action film as well. And you know that. But if you want to compare movies that talk about, racial problems in America, you could have done something like, Gone with the Wind is a classic, but so is Malcolm X and so is Selma. That would have been a better phrasing, because that would have stopped me in my tracks, because Gone with the Wind is one of my favorite films. And it takes place during the time of slavery, ironically. And that would have stopped me in my tracks if you would have framed it like that. But since you're using a Disney animated film, that's a completely different ballpark.
Why is it so hard for you to acknowledge your privilege?
How does it feel?
First of all, privilege. This white privilege bullshit. It's bullshit, okay? No one's privileged. No one has privilege based on the color of their skin. You know what? No baby ever pops out of the womb and has a sign that says privileged. No. As far as I'm concerned, people like Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Billy Joel, Denzel Washington, Lawrence Fishburne, Samuel L. Jackson, Bruce Willis, David Letterman, Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert, Jay Leno, Bill Maher, Ben Carson, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump are all privileged compared to the rest of us because they're rich. They have money. Either they were self-made or it was passed down to them by their fathers or mothers who were filthy rich. What rich people are privileged. You know what? Here's a better example. Bill Cosby's privileged. He's so rich that he could get away with raping over 50 women. But if a poor white guy or black guy did it, they'd be in prison right away. They wouldn't even get to the number 50 before they would get arrested.
To not be the spokesperson for your entire race at any given time.
Must be nice.
Your entire race. Not be the spokesperson for your entire race at any given time.
Must be nice.
I think that was the end of the video. But look, I'm not gonna say that I'm a spokesperson for my race, because no one's a spokesperson for the race. That's stupid to say, oh, someone's a spokesperson for their race. No. Have you ever seen the title of the spokesperson of the black race on Barack Obama? No. Have you ever seen the spokesperson of the white race on Donald Trump? No. People are the spokesperson for themselves. For themselves. Not for their whole race. Because people within their race have different opinions than the person who just spoke for themselves. Look, I'm a left libertarian. A hardcore liberal can disagree with me on a lot. Or a conservative could disagree with me on a lot. Because we have different political views. I hope you guys enjoy this video. See ya.